Okay, so we're looking at Platinum Chat. No, okay. We're not looking at Plat Chat. That would be a pretty depressing review, right? Platinum. I'm just going to call it Platinum Projectile because it's a Pharah and a Junkrat VOD. Platinum Projectile. Okay. Tin chat. Okay. Anything that I need to do before I get started on this VOD? I don't think so. 1 hour until Dogman's. So again, in 1 hour, we're having Dogman, a support player who used to be on Congarda and No Clout, currently LFT. But we've got 3 Zen VODs to do, and our Dogman is going to be joining us for them. So going to be a lot of fun. We got a semi-pro player joining us for those Zenyatta VODs. So if you are a support player or know a support player who plays Zon, we have just renamed him to Zon because words are hard. So yeah, if you got a Zen player who you play on a team and you're like, hey, you're shit, bud, but you don't actually want to tell that to him because he's your friend. You know, you got that duo partner or the guy on your team who just needs to get a little bit less shit at Zen because he's holding your team back. Well, poke him and be like, hey, there's this really cool VOD coming up with a Dogman semi-pro. He could teach you some things. You could be awesome. So you could be the next Jonak, right? It was so funny. I asked on Twitter because all of my regulars that would come on the stream to help me guest review VODs were unavailable. So I kind of like posted on Twitter. I was like, hey, anybody want to come on and help me guest review some Zen VODs? And then so many people were like, get Jonak on. I was like, I don't speak Korean. So many people seriously suggested Jonak. It's like, that might be a bit difficult. Anyway, let's get to it. So just a little bit of info about this VOD. Bill Nithon, Big D Bortles, who is his alt. Bill Nithon is a main tank player, and this is him trying to branch out into DPS. So this is a Smurf, but his main is a main tank. So I believe he's Diamond main tank. He's probably going to get salty if I got that wrong. But I believe Bill is a Diamond main tank, and this is his new account where he's trying to learn DPS. So that's the context of who this is. Yo, Arc would be awesome to have on sometime. Anyway, in terms of this composition, you are running Pharah, and you have the Mercy to couple with the Pharah. However, with the Zenyatta here, the Mercy can't be tied exclusively to you, or else the heals or the tanks on the ground, the D.Va and the Winston, simply aren't going to have enough heals. Yes, Soldier can kind of fill in that gap with his healing station, but that's not really a practical application of healing station because he also needs it to simply keep himself alive when he gets into the matchups. D.Va probably going to have to play a lot more passive with the Zenyatta, but since you are running 2 long-range DPS, instead of having this guy being like a Tracer or a Genji, if you do land a direct rocket or something, you don't have as much capability from the rest of your team to follow up on it. So there's going to be a lot more pressure for you to operate with less heals because you have a Zenyatta on your team who your Mercy needs to protect, as well as your Mercy needs to do the healing on the Winston and the D.Va, as well as you need to basically confirm your kills. So not only are you going to be operating with less heals, but you also need to do more effort to confirm your own kills. So this is a pretty tall order for a Pharah. But you are on Nepal, pretty decent composition or a decent map for Pharah. So if you are going to pull it off on any map, it's probably going to be Nepal.
Let's group up top right.
Okay. What happened to only damage boosting the tanks to teach them a lesson? It was only damage boosting the DPS, and I would only ever do that in scrims or like practicing when I'm trying to teach a specific gameplay. In solo queue, especially at Platinum, putting double primary healers on dive tanks is unfortunately effective just because there's not enough coordination or focus fire. The time to kill is so low that you can get away with that. So, and the target priority just is not there either. Whereas at the higher ranks, you never like you always kind of like hear about people doing more damage when they just left click you than they do with tactical visor. And I never really experienced that until I played in like my first 4.4K scrim. I scrimmed against a team that had like Rob 420 on it and Reach. If you guys don't know who Reach is, he's a very, very highly ranked player. I'm not actually sure if he's currently on a team. I think he is. Reach? Is he on a team right now? But I remember very distinctly during the Mercy meta, I was playing Mercy against a team, a 4.4 or a 4.5k team in scrims, and Reach was on Soldier on the enemy time, and I swear, like, I just felt like if I was ever in the open, if I ever left the back line to go to my tanks, if I ever Guardian Angeled through open space, I just felt like I was just getting deleted. It really truly felt like he had a higher damage outside of tactical visor than he had in it. So, yeah, it's not going to get like the reasons why I'm talking about Mercy staying in the back line, staying safe with the support line, pocketing a DPS, and tanks will return if they need heals. And is that at the higher you go, the time to kill becomes so short that if a healer kind of exposes himself in trying to like heal a tank mid combat, the target priority is immediately going to swap off the tank onto the healer. The healer's going to get deleted in like a second or two, and then go back to burning the tanks. So, yeah, like in Platinum, you can get away with it. In Diamond, you can get away with it. Even in Masters, you can sometimes get away with it. The higher you go, the less effective that playstyle will become. And if you are playing Winston Diva, and you're playing Winston Diva in a style that relies on healers pocketing you, then your play style and your improvement is going to suffer because the healing that you receive is a crutch.
All right, David Tracer.
Yep. Running a fair as well.
Coming on the back line.
Alright, Lisa speed.
Alright, Hunters.
I shouldn't be in here. I shouldn't be in here. I don't want to be in here.
So a couple things. Let's look at this initial fight again. What did you scrim against Rob 420? What did I scrim? This was months ago. Probably November, December, somewhere in there. It was on Hanamura. So previous metas, during the height of the Mercy meta. Right, it was no time recently.
Alright, David Tracer.
Yep. Running a fair as well.
Coming on the back line.
So I like this part where you're initially spamming the tanks because you're getting a lot of value out of that.
Alright,
And then you kind of get distracted with this this Pharah here. Now she's at a range and at a health where you're going to need 2 direct hits to actually kill her, which is going to be extremely difficult. You would be getting a lot more value. First off, conserving your altitude, right? And second of all, just keep farming tanks. You were getting a lot of value when you're shelling the tanks, but because even if you like miss a tank that's on the ground, you're going to land the rocket near them and get a lot of splash damage. But if you miss a Pharah, then that rocket is completely worthless. My phone is ringing. Yeah, I'll deal with that later. So I liked the initial targets. You did land the direct on the Pharah, but even if you land one direct, unless you land the second direct as well, the first direct is useless. Now, your fuel management is going to need work. I can already tell. So let's hop again another time where we're actually going into the Overwatch client before the point is even unlocked. Sometimes I can just tell that I'm gonna have to explain something, so we're just going right to the training range. Actually, let's do a custom game instead. Play. Settings, presets, Start. Main. Chat's just freaking out about the fuel tutorial. So, fuel tutorial. Now, the only real awkward thing about managing your fuel on Pharah is that it's got a different kind of like fire rate than your rockets. So what I just did there, actually super inefficient use of fuel. So, in order to practice fuel management, I like to start at the lowest point of Chateau Guillard. Now, does anybody, when you see my screen, you see how you've got that fuel indicator there? Does anybody actually know what the red part of the fuel indicator is used for? Pretty sure you don't. I'm pretty sure that like 90% of the people in chat have no idea what the red indicator on your fuel gauge. Most people think that that's just visual nicety, right? Anybody in chat? Anybody in chat have any idea what the red indicator is for? Somebody's got to know this. One person got it right. Who was that? Scared for Life. Scared for Life got it right. It's when you press shift. So watch, if I press shift, then my fuel will be full after my jump jet is done. So if I press shift when my fuel is at red, by the time I stop, my momentum burns off at the very top of my boost, I will have a full fuel gauge. Boost. There's red. There we go. It's full. So that's the indicator for where your fuel wants to be at in order for you to actually get to your max height. Now, the other thing is that you want to be doing is you want to maximize this. So the next thing that you want to be doing is you have a maximum upward speed. So as you kind of hover off the ground, you don't go faster and faster and faster and faster. You've reached an upwards velocity. And the other thing that we need to, so there's a whole bunch of different factors that go into this, and I'm going to take this real slow. I'm going to take this real slow so you understand all of the factors that go into this. So holding space, we don't go faster and faster and faster and faster as we hold up. We get to a maximum upwards velocity. So if you want to maximize the amount of fuel that you're getting, the other thing is that the upward velocity that I move at using jump jet has no relation to how fast or in what direction I was moving initially. So if I jump jet while boosting, I still get the same upwards, right? So the delta V, or the change in velocity, if I'm hover jetting while I'm boosting, is less than if I'm dropping and boost, I still go upwards at the same amount. So knowing this, what you want to be doing is right before you boost, go a little bit beneath the red, let go. Right as you hit max down, you boost back up. So you get even more fuel out. This is important to micromanage this, right? So you go, as soon as you're kind of going below the red, you let go, and then same thing with the moving up. You have a maximum down, right? You don't constantly accelerate. You have a maximum fall rate in Overwatch. So you just kind of like, you don't boost right after hovering. You kind of let yourself fall a little bit because that starts the fuel recovery earlier, so you can boost higher and get more fuel after this. So up, release, drop, boost, max. Now the other thing is that the timing of the actual Pharah rockets themselves, how we hover. A lot of people do this too quickly, but you have to remember that there's a delay in your fuel before you actually activate. So if you tap your fuel too quickly, you'll burn through it a lot faster. The ideal delay on using your hover jets is going from max up to max down, so that you get the maximum recharge. You spend like the cooldown after activating hover jets before your fuel recharges. You want the amount of time that you're in the air where the cooldown between deactivating your jets and the fuel recovering is minimized. So if I'm doing this, if I'm tap 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 like that, the majority of my flight time is spent with that cooldown between deactivating my hover jets and my fuel recharging. So you want really slow, methodical pulses so that you have less time spent in that cooldown phase and you can have better fuel management. Now, the reason why we use Chateau is because you should be able to gain altitude without using your jump jet initially. So we're starting really low. We're going to do boost, 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 boost. We're going into red, boost, up, boost, 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 up, boost, 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 up, boost, 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 up. You can fly forever. You can gain altitude. And there's even some fuel left over for the for you to do evasive maneuvers. Because if you're doing like the perfect boost every single time, you're in a very predictable motion. So you can actually perform some evasive maneuvers and still have enough fuel to keep yourself indefinitely. Because if you're doing like the optimal hover on Pharah, you're going to be able to not only stay in the air literally forever, but you're going to be able to gain altitude and sit at the fucking skybox. So, yeah, ground Pharah is unacceptable because there's no reason for you to ever touch the ground. If you know how to hover properly, you should be able to stay in the air permanently. So, like, now, the problem is that if most people get in the bad habit of boosting at the same rate of fire as they fire their rockets. Boost, 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 boost. But if you boost at the same rate of fire, getting close to the water, want boost back. Okay, we're good. But if you fire and boost at the same time, first of all, it's a rhythmic pattern that makes you very easy to hit, and secondly, it's very ineffective in terms of actual fuel conservation. So it needs to be practiced. But one of the things that I like to do on Pharah is I'm a very patient Pharah. And honestly, I'm not the kind of person who enjoys like patting their head and rubbing their stomach at the same time. Is that because of this, I fire at a much lower rate on Pharah. And instead of firing at max rate of fire, just like McCree, I make sure that my rockets are placed with purpose. So it's just one of the side effects of me wanting to do that is I just more accurately place my rockets instead of firing at the max rate of fire, unless, for example, I'm shooting ground targets. If I'm shooting ground targets and don't have to be accurate, then yeah, just do it. So, questions so far? There's a really nice audio cue for when to tick your spacebar to time a tempo to. I find that helps me. I don't know what you're talking about there. How do Pharah rocket jumps work? Pharah rocket jumps are very easy, but you only normally do them when you have a pocket Pharah. Or a pocket Mercy, rather. And it's very easy. You literally just look at the ground and press space and jump at the same time. Super simple. It's just an initial takeoff. So, boom, that's it. Okay? So, if you look at the difference between me just, like, jumping, I only get, like, that high, right? But the rocket jump plus space at the same time, I go there. So, space. Hello? My spray button is apparently different on Pharah. So, space gets me this high. The rocket knockback gets me significantly higher, and I'm going to die if I don't heal up. So if you do them together, you get way higher, and you get basically initial altitude for free. That is, of course, going to get healed up by your Mercy. So, and the other great thing is that even if you do rocket jump, you only take 40 personal, and of course, a damage boosted direct from the opponent will only ever do 156 at maximum. So even if you get directed by the enemy damage boosted Pharah while you yourself are rocket jumping, you will still have 4 health remaining and won't get one shot. So it's a pretty safe technique. Boop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boost. Am I already at the skybox? Yeah, so I can hit the skybox in basically one cycle. So that's the if you've got your pattern correctly. So start here on Chateau. Rocket jump, start your boost pattern, boost, 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 hold boost, skybox. So yeah, super easy to gain altitude on Pharah, super easy. While I'm here, I may as well show you, well, first of all, any questions on hover tech? Show us how to barrage into the wall? Wow. Can you still rocket jump over a health pack so that you have all your health after the jump? You can do that, but normally if I'm trying to do a very quick pickup of a health pack, and you've probably seen me do it, a lot of Pharahs do like these 180s, but my favorite way to get forward momentum on Pharah is just look at the ground, boop, and send yourself like that. So concussioning right at the ground, since concussion is a projectile, it will end up just the slightest of a fraction of a distance behind your center of mass, which makes the concussion send you forward. So just walk, look directly at the ground, and that will send you forward. So that's normally how I pick up health packs on Pharah in like the middle of a fight, is I'll just concussion my feet, send me through the mega, and then after that I can rocket boost. Now the other thing that you can actually use this technique to get a very large amount of both vertical and horizontal momentum. So if I'm trying to barrage from the low ground to the high ground on Pharah, like that. So you see how I basically, like, it was so fast that I arrived there. And the other thing is that you don't want to actually barrage that far away. If you barrage closer to people, you're going to actually... Let me turn ultimate charge up and let's do some Pharah, like some Pharah tech while we're here. Are you supposed to kill yourself though? Okay. Okay. Oh, I disabled my ultimate. Damn it, that was the wrong button. I wanted to spawn with ultimate, not disable it. Where the hell is Pharah? Spawn with ultimate. I clicked the wrong button.
Arriving at Chateau.
That's Reaper. Damn it. Wood tier streamer. Wood tier streamer. Pharah. Okay. So the two kind of like techs that you want to be using. Why are there... My viewer count jumped like 400 as soon as I started explaining Pharah. That's so random. So yeah, there's a couple different techs you want to use for Pharah. First of all, your hover jet makes a fuck ton of noise. Like, that's my spacebar. So, like, the opponent can't hear your spacebar. But they can hear your jets. They can also hear that. That's really loud. It's just like how Tracer has, like, moderately loud footsteps, but her blinks are just like, bang, bang, bang. So, like, blinking gives away your position on Tracer through walls, outside of line of sight, in the same way that Jump Jet kind of gives away that you're a Pharah. So if you want to be barraging somebody from high ground to low ground, you go up, because descending has no noise, and barrage will stop vertical and like all momentum instantly the moment you press your barrage. So that's how you surprise people from high to low. And you also want to be doing it like through doorways into places where people can't dodge. So use your Jump Jet, all of your fuel to go up, descend on somebody, boom. And you can be really close to the ground and not kill yourself. A lot of people kind of overestimate how far away you have to be the ground to actually survive. You don't have to be that far up. And the farther up you are, is that, like, Pharah's projectiles themselves are actually really slow. Watch how slow the projectiles are. Pharah's barrage projectiles are not fast. So the farther away from things you are, the more time that they have to react. So it's way better to be really, really close to things to barrage, because they can't react before they're dead. Like, let's find an indicator. So let's go here. So that'll kill you. So 2 feet, that'll kill you. Let's see just exactly how close we can be to the ground to survive. But you could be really close to the ground and still live. So let's go to the next brick up. Let's go to that one. 2.5 feet. There. You can be this close to the ground and survive. Why would you be any farther than that? You don't need to be any farther than that. The other fun thing about barrage is that a lot of people don't do this, but you should do this, is that you can always get 1 rocket for free, because you can animation cancel rocket with barrage. Drop. Did you see? My ammo's at 5. I used an extra rocket. Always use the free rocket. Always use the free rocket. One more time, just in case you didn't see it. The other thing that is, like, the thing that usually triggers a barrage if you're in the middle of a fight is if you do land a direct on somebody, especially if you're damage boosted, puts down to 50. Instead of waiting for the ROF of your next target, you barrage to immediately burst down the target you directed and then try and trade. Because Pharah's usually not going to survive her barrage, so trading for 2, totally worth it on Pharah. So yeah, I'm at 6 ammo right now. 6 ammo. 5 ammo. I get an extra rocket at the thing I'm shooting at. Get extra damage. Every single place you can, use your animation cancels to get extra damage. And of course, the final tech, which is a lot harder to pull off, is the floor concussion into boost onto barraging the high ground. So the tech from barraging from high to low or through doorways or areas is boost up, drop silently, so you surprise people. The other way that you surprise people on Pharah, you're seeing a theme here. In order to actually pull off these Pharah barrages properly, you need to surprise people. You look at the ground, you boost up, boom. Right? So you get a shit ton of horizontal momentum from the concussion blast. You combo that into the jump jet so that you're getting just a crazy amount of vertical and horizontal momentum at the same time. You just appear out of fucking nowhere and they get barraged and they die immediately because you pulled the trigger. And the barrage stops you exactly where, like, when you press the button, momentum stops. There is no delay. Stops immediately. So those are the two main techs that you need to practice for Pharah. Okay, questions? What about rocket jumping and pressing shift at the same time? Waste. Waste, 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 waste. You never, ever, ever take off the ground with that. Like, you go really high, but the problem is that you wasted your jump jet. And jump jet isn't just about gaining altitude, right? So this sends you, like, really, really high. See how high that sent you? But the problem is that you've used your jump jet. And jump jet is an offensive and a defensive tool. So this is equivalent to, like, a Genji using a Swift Strike, a Tracer using a Recall or something. And I'm sure people will debate me on this point. But as long as you're not in danger, using this to get your altitude is a lot more controlling. Because if you take a direct rocket, one of the ways that you can avoid getting directed by a second one is to boost. Or if you do hit a direct on the enemy Pharah, you can use your jump jet to boost into the Pharah to land the second direct. So if you're fighting a Pharah and they're above you and you land a direct, you can use your jump jet to boost up into close range to land that second rocket. So the reason I don't like taking off with the combination of rocket jump with shift, yes, it gives you a fuck ton of altitude, but it uses your shift. And your shift is a very, very important tool. Like, and the other thing, especially if you're going against the hit scan ultimate, if you're ever going against a McCree and if he has high noon, if you press jump jet and he activates high noon, you actually can't drop out of the sky fast enough. So I like using the shift not as like a movement ability, other than maybe sustaining myself in the air when I'm running out of fuel. But I like using it either offensively or defensively to keep myself alive or secure an elimination. The other thing about using your shift is you can do it if you like drop down on a target, you're damage boosted, to tap them from close. I didn't have my shift off cooldown, but especially if you're pocketed, instead of like if there's a McCree there or something, instead of shelling him from range, if he doesn't see you coming, you can drop on the McCree just like you would a barrage, to tap him from close range, and then use your shift to escape. So you don't have to just constantly be a little coward on Pharah and spamming rockets from forever away. Spam less rockets. If the McCree loses track of you, go above, one tap, two tap, shift, I'm out of there. I'm no longer in threat. So these are kind of like ways that you want to be using your jump jet that do not involve rocket jumping. So, what is your rank, by the way? 4300 Ultric. Has he done a Torbjorn tutorial? Nobody has submitted a Torbjorn VOD to me before. Questions? Any questions on Pharah at all?
Back into the fray.
Is Pharah meta in low elo? Very powerful. Pharah is very powerful in low elo. You missed a sub? I'm sure I missed a lot of them. I go through all of the subs after each VOD. Torb VOD incoming? Yes. Don't you want to shift plus rocket jump during rollouts, though? Like, you could. Yeah, like, if you're talking about, like, exiting spawn like this, yeah, sure. Style points, I guess. Nobody's gonna... You're not in any threat. Sure, if you want to do that rolling out. But if you're, like, doing that in combat, reduces your options. Reduces your options. And options are powerful. Options are the reason mobility is powerful. Because mobility gives you the option to be in different places, to pursue targets, to disengage. Mobility is strength through options, and having your cooldowns are strength through options. So wasting them for frivolous purposes, pretty wasteful. Get Mangachu to submit a Torb VOD? I should ask Mangachu if he was interested. I should get Mangachu to actually guest review Torb VODs with me. That'd be a good idea. How do you animation cancel with Genji's slash and dash? That was a question for a Genji VOD, not a Pharah VOD. What is the best way to counter pharmacy without a Widow? So, this is actually funny, because I'm doing a collaboration video with CarQ on this exact topic about how to counter cheese comps. And in the video, we're considering pharmacy as one of the cheese comps, because it's one of the questions that people ask, how do you really counter a pharmacy? And there's a couple different ways. Widow's a good one, but if you don't have a hit scan player, you don't have a hit scan player. So one of the best ways to counter a pharmacy is, of course, getting your own pharmacy, but not just getting your own pharmacy, right? How much does a damage-boosted rocket do? Chad, I'm sure will type. It does 156 damage. Question, How much does a damage boosted rocket do to a discorded target? How much does a damage boosted rocket do to a discorded target? 202. Isn't it 202, not 206? I think it's like 202.8. Pretty sure it's 202.8. It's enough to one-shot. So you don't have to be very good at Pharah. You can literally just ask for the enemy Pharah to be discorded, and then just, like, jump jet into them, damage boosted rocket, boom, you're dead, bitch. Diva is a really good counter. Now, unfortunately, that requires a proficient Diva. Or you can just ignore the Pharah entirely and try and put all of your resources into killing the 4 remaining targets that are actually left on the ground. So this was actually used by Seoul Dynasty back when they were actually a decent Overwatch League team, lol. They did this quite frequently. I think it was Seoul Dynasty and New York were the teams that kind of made this tactic popular of discording the enemy Pharah and then acting like really aggressive and bullying the enemy with their own pharmacy, because that Pharah is at constant risk of being one-shotted, so they can't take the duel because they need to win they need to land 2 rockets to win the duel, but your team only needs to land 1. And if you get 1 direct land on you, you have options for evasive maneuvers, whether they're, jump jets or concussion blasts or anything like that. Like, I think you've seen me do it, but the other thing is that to remember is that just like concussion mine, now this is something that a lot of people don't understand. Let me demonstrate Junkrat first. We're going on a tangent. Fuck you, chat. We're going on a tangent. Junkrat mines. A lot of people don't actually realize this about Junkrat mines. Where do we want to do it? We'll do it here. If I stand here, chat, where is this mine going to launch me? Where is this mine going to launch me? Is it going to throw me into the ground? No. Regardless of where within Junkrat's mine AoE, you always get launched vertically at 45-degree angle, right? If I stand directly on top of it, I don't get launched directly up. I get launched in a 45-degree angle of wherever I was the slightest fraction of a millimeter off center. Right, so which direction am I going to go in, chat? Forward left, 45-degree angle? Yep. 45 left. So, these blasts in Overwatch are not omnidirectional. I'm below it. Where am I going to go? I think behind me to the right at 45 degrees? Yeah, so these mines are not omnidirectional at all. And neither is Pharah's concussive blast. Pharah's concussive blast is also not omnidirectional. I just do it out of habit. Every single time I do that out of habit. Concussive blast, right? You've seen me kind of do it to my feet, and this is why people think that they need to 180 at an angle, because they think if they concussive blast the ground, they'll just go directly up. Now, why is it when I look at the ground, I only do like a little tiny hop? Like, let's look at this. So if right? So we're at like 1.5 bricks. If I rocket, I ended up there. But if I concussive blast, what? That's less than jumping. Why did my concussion blast not send me anywhere? Question mark, chat. Why did my concussive blast not launch me anywhere? Boink. I went like an inch into the air. And the reason is just like Junkrat's concussive mine not being omnidirectional, and concussion mine launches everyone regardless of where the AoE in them, in upwards at 45-degree angle, concussion has like 90% of its momentum, probably like 99%, just the vast majority of Pharah's concussive knockback is horizontal. So if I'm here and I shoot the concussion mine above me, I'm still getting knocked primarily horizontal. And you can do this. Let's move to Hollywood. Let's go to Hollywood because this is way easier to demonstrate on Hollywood. It's horizontal movement. Concussion is primarily horizontal. Concussion blast is horizontal. Concussion mines are 45 vertical. They are not, these are not intuitive things. And honestly, I hate this part of Overwatch. Just practice that tech wherever. But you can use the concussive blast to kind of maneuver yourself around. What? Hello? I know you can cross this. Why can I not cross this? What the... Oh. We're in deathmatch.
Now entering King's Row.
I was like, I am 900% sure I can cross here.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again.
I will protect
Ba,
the
ba, ba,
innocent.
ba, 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 ba. But I've managed a concussion as a jump boost. No, you haven't.
Clearing the area.
Okay, so these rooftops on Hollywood are super good. You can do a shit ton of things to these, right? And even if they are slanted like this, you can use your concussion rocket to knock yourself over top of slanted rooftops like this. So even if I run out of fuel, and I'm going to run out of fuel, you can use your concussion rocket to force yourself over slanted rooftops, right? So I'm running out of fuel. I can't recharge. I want to knock... Fuck. You can use your concussion to knock yourself over slanted. I started sliding back too far before I did it, so my concussion landed in front of me, right? But you can use your concussion to knock yourself over slanted faces like this. It's not omnidirectional, it's horizontal, and as long as the rocket lands behind you, you're good enough. So let's do it again. See if we can do it. Running out of fuel, and then if you want to just knock yourself horizontal, boom.
Clearing the area.
But that was a poor example. That was a poor demonstration. Sorry, Chad. Let's wait for concussion. I should have turned my cooldowns down as well. But yeah. So your concussion isn't just used for knockback. In fact, in the majority of circumstances, you shouldn't be using your concussion for just like random ass knockback unless you're doing like main tank displacement or going for environmental kills. Your concussion line is a significant portion of your mobility. So you can use it to kind of use just way less fuel and knock yourself over rooftops and things like this. So, boop. Knock yourself over. So, especially Hollywood, in order to like get used to how the concussion mine mechanics work in terms of mobility, the two kind of like I guess there's three kinds of uses of concussion that you want to learn how to use to actually control your momentum. There's wall conks like that. Then there's the floor conks, which I've shown you, where you just flick to your feet and conk to move forward. And then there's slanted, where you force yourself over slanted pieces of geometry. So look at the floor, just flick the concussion. And then, of course, the final one is going to be, well, you go from here. We'll just practice the concussion to clear this rooftop. So it will force you, and like as long as, the reason why it's so powerful using it on a slanted wall is that just like Doomfist's rocket jumps and Moira's fade jumps, using the concussion on a slanted surface will also give you extra altitude because the horizontal, you slide across the rooftop, it gives you more vertical, right? So, boom. I didn't use any hover jets there, and look at how much extra altitude that gave me. So, yeah, concussion. Those are the three concussion kind of uses that you want to use to make your movement that much better on Pharah. So stop considering concussion as just a tool to get environmental kills. I let my fuel get too low again. And more about how to move around. This is why maps with a lot of vertical mobility, because like maps with really large skyboxes but open territory, not that useful. But places like Hollywood, where you have so much rooftop and whatnot, it's like Pharah's jungle gym. Boop. I'm here. So, there. Any more questions? Can we please see the VOD? I like going on tangents, man. How would you deal with a spamming Pharah when you're on attack? It seems impossible even with a hit scan. Like, if you move slow, like, you know, if a Junkrat or a Pharah is spamming a choke, the value that that spam receives is directly proportionate to the amount of time you spend in that choke. So either dive past the choke or speed past it. Wow, we hit 2K stream. We hit 2K viewers for the first time ever. That's awesome. Thanks, everyone. Are you going to have to refund this VOD too? It's very possible. It is very possible. Oh, man. Which produces more horizontal movement, the 180 conk or the conk at the feet while moving forward? Both are the exact same. Pharah is my most played hero, and there's so many people who tell you to instantly switch whenever there's Widow. I tell them that Widow doesn't necessarily counter Pharah unless they're being very good. Thoughts? Yes. Depends on map, but especially in ranked, if you can get above targets as Pharah, most Widowmakers can't fucking aim vertically to save their life. So use creative usage of your concussion mine and jump jets to be as vertically above the Widowmaker as possible. And not only is it insanely hard for a Widow to aim vertically, but it's incredibly difficult for the Pharah to actually land the headshot because most of what she's seeing is your fucking feet and your legs. Your head hitbox from below is tiny as fuck, and it's super hard to aim at the vertical coordinates, right? So, absolutely. I think DeFran just went offline, and that's why you got so many viewers. Oh, cool. That would indeed make sense. Okay, let's actually review a VOD. Apparently that's what we're doing here. Who knew? I didn't know, but yeah, apparently we're actually reviewing a Pharah VOD. Who knew? And we're like 15 minutes away from Dogman showing up too. Cheers. Okay. Pharah VOD. Let's get back to it. 45-minute VOD review. The point isn't even unlocked yet. Feels good, man. Feels good. We just spent 45 minutes reviewing 27 seconds of footage.
The objective is now
All right, let's rotate left.
See?
Even behind
Yeah,
us?
behind us. Focus Diva. Focus Diva.
Do you see the type of rooftop that's on Nepal? Right? Do you see the type of rooftop that's on Nepal? Look at this. A slanted rooftop. Just like I demonstrated on Hollywood. Maps like this are a Pharah jungle gym. You can do so much creative and quick movement. Pharah, if you are an inexperienced player, spends a lot of time on the ground or a lot of time with these really bulky, lumbering, predictable movements. A good Pharah, spamming angles and then very quickly getting into position using combinations of the jump jet to move vertically, and the concussion mine or the concussion blast is your horizontal movement. So many people do not realize this about Pharah. Concussion isn't primarily for knockback. It's for horizontal mobility. I wish more people understood that. Concussive blast is for horizontal mobility. Jump jet is for vertical mobility.
Diva's behind
Diva
us?
behind us. Focus Diva. Focus Diva. She's low on cooldowns. Diva out of mech.
Mercer behind us. Mercer nobody.
Alright, Pharah's pushing over.
Mercy's on her.
There's no real point going for the Mercy in a pharmacy. So if you are fighting pharmacy, go for the Pharah. 2 directs, one after another, will kill. And the Mercy does not have to remain in your LOS to remain effective. Ooh, frame drops. Why are we dropping frames? No stop. No stop. Frame drops. Go away. I haven't dropped frames in weeks. Why are we dropping frames now? Anyway, so a Mercy can very easily remain effective as part of the pharmacy composition while outside of line of sight, or if she does take a direct, she can drop. She can leave the Pharah for a quick moment. Her beam can extend despite her max range for a couple seconds or whatnot. So the correct target to go after if you are dueling an enemy pharmacy is the Pharah, and is always the Pharah, not the Mercy.
Oh, I couldn't get the third one.
Mercy
Mercy's long, Mercy's long.
Mercy's low. Nice, nice. All
We
right,
need to
push.
push in. Push in.
Yeah, push in, push in. We
Come on,
have numbers here.
support. Look back.
Big numbers. Pharah's overextended. Discord, Pharah one hit.
Mercy
Got it.
one, Mercy one, Mercy
Alright, got a
one.
point, got a point, got a point.
Those frame drops were in the VOD, not on my stream.
Got some Mercy.
Good cap, good cap. Ryan left, Ryan left.
Alright, good shit, guys.
Stagger this Ryan here left.
I love it. What did I say were the 2 uses of concussive blast? Main tank displacement and environmental skills, other than mobility. Main tank displacement, knocking him back into your team, especially if he had a team behind him, not only puts the Reinhardt in trouble, but exposes the backline. So, yeah, using your concussion to split main tanks and the rest of their team, love it. Yes, it was only the main tank here, but this, like, if you've done it here, you'll do it again. And this concept, this is another great use of concussive blast.
Beautiful.
That Reinhardt might have made it out if you didn't do
Place
that.
a bomb. Kill up our Diva. Nice, nice, nice.
He heals on point.
I love how, like, I can
Pharmacy
tell you're a
coming
main
back.
tank player because your communication is already so strong, and
I have ult.
it's lending itself really well to.
Yeah,
Normally, like, normally DPS roles don't have this really strong communication factor to them. However, on Pharah in particular, Pharah is one of the characters that actually does have a very strong communication component to them. Because you're so high, you have such great sight lines of the map, as well as you can see opponents before they can really do anything to you, unless you're a Widowmaker. You can provide recon or just very early information about what the enemy team is doing, where they're going, and relay this information to your team. So it's actually probably good that an individual who has such strong communication skills like you do from having played main tank is going on to a character that, despite being DPS, actually is one of the stronger characters at communicating.
They're all this one. Oh, no.
So,
Zen, if everyone starts dying, I'll use mine. You should save yours.
So you missed an opportunity here. Anytime you have the did anybody see the missed opportunity? Did anybody see that missed opportunity? For the briefest of seconds, there was an opportunity. There was an opportunity there. Did you catch it? Any Pharah mains in the chat? Did you catch it? They're diamond on their main, and this is a platinum DPS smurf. Anybody catch the opportunity? You can't just say, I think I caught it, and not... You can't just be like, yes, I saw it. That doesn't count. If you saw it, you gotta wager that you're correct by typing your guess in chat. Come on, you can't... I got it. Yep, totally saw that, Jayne. Now, just to make sure, can you explain to the rest of chat what exactly you saw? That's... What do you think? I'm not 12. Yeah, I'm sure all of chat saw it. But what did you see, chat?
so
Let me pause it. Let me pause exactly
Zen,
what the
if everyone
opportunity
starts
was.
dying, I'll use mine. You should
Here's the opportunity.
save yours.
Right here. What's the opportunity, chat? Yeah, so totally, so obvious. Fuel recharge. Somebody got it. Who got it first? Danik Irish. Fuel. You're on a high ground location, and this is why if you have to land, you always want to take off and land from the high ground. If you're on there, take the extra second or two to recharge your fuel to max. But you stand on the high ground and you immediately depart it despite being under no threat. And you depart and boost. So, terrible fuel management here.
They're pushing the left side. Oh, nope.
Here's one point.
Ah, I messed up my mechanics.
Wrong.
You telegraphed that you were going to barrage and put yourself in a bad location, and the diva noticed you. Good intention, poor execution.
Side.
I think
That was my
Dogman is
bad.
messaging me.
I really messed up my
Give me a
mechanics
second.
there and fed. Alright, we have all 6 ults here, so.
Sick. Yeah, well, after this VOD, we'll get Dogman in
Alright,
here.
careful overusing ults. Careful, we just used 4 ults there. We traded 2 for 2. Res 1. Pharah didn't get anything with her ult, that's good.
It's such a pleasure watching a main tank player transition to a main tank player transition to DPS. You're doing all of your shot calling and tingles. Good stuff.
First half.
No more ults
Terrible
here, let's
fuel
win this without-
management. Hastro, is that you?
Right
Oh
from the
my
shadow.
god, comment
Yeah,
of
I
the
know.
year.
Yeah, he'll have it soon. Focus Ryan.
there's so many, there's so
Ryan's weak on point, Ryan's weak on point. Ryan down.
actually,
Way to hold that. Mercy coming in right, Mercy right, Mercy right. Focus Mercy right, she's weak. Beautiful. Diva on point.
You picked me up. I couldn't heal.
Hold on, I'm coming. Look up
He
left.
heals. On point.
Oh my god.
I'm coming back. Oh.
Go. Heal yourself, heal yourself.
Ooh, sneaky
I'm gonna do
barrage.
something stupid, friends.
Oh, almost.
Can you rest me?
Anybody see how low that diva was? Anybody see the mistake? Anybody see the mistake?
Let's try this. I'm gonna do something
What's the
stupid,
mistake?
friends.
What's the mistake? What's the mistake? What's the mistake? What's the mistake? Look how low that diva is. What's the mistake? We went over this, chat. We went over this. That would have killed him. That would have killed him. No extra rocket. Would have worked. Would have worked. Come on. You didn't use your free rocket.
Can you rest me?
It actually was stupid. Normally when I say I'm gonna do something stupid, it works, but
That's
I
all.
didn't see the diva there, and I
Okay.
already committed because I was dumb.
You didn't see the diva there? You didn't see the diva.
Can you rest me?
Really?
It actually was stupid. Normally when I say I'm gonna do something stupid, it works, but
That's
I
all.
didn't see the diva there, and I
Okay.
already committed because I was dumb.
Get the Reaper, get the Reaper, get the Reaper, get the Reaper.
Back online.
So I hope this is
Ready?
not the one I'm VOD reviewing. Because
Yeah, it
we
is.
just-
Yeah, it is, Bell. Hi.
Yeah, we're good here. Save your ult. I'm sorry. I saw an opportunity and I really fucked it up, so I take the blame for that one.
Oh, man.
Oh, this
You can still
okay.
cap it. You just need to build a bolt.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Nice, nice,
Nice.
nice.
That's so
we can
tilting when
push
I'm
in now.
playing Tracer and just eat a random damage boosted
Pushing top
rocket.
right.
It's so annoying.
They're back in the point. Lucio's
ooh,
weak.
good.
I almost got him.
Nice. Now, if only you had people who could follow up on direct rockets, that would have been awesome.
Alright, we have high ground. Watch out for ults.
That's weak.
Yeah, this is
Like,
you.
your aim definitely needs work on Pharah. You're just spamming in the general direction. None of your rockets are placed purposefully based on movement or prediction or anything like that. You're just like, red people. Rockets go. Please hit something. So, I was kind of excited when you were placing your rockets
Pushing top right.
here because you shot your rocket in this was a great placed rocket. This rocket right here, you know that the opponent's going this way. You know that if they're going to move on to the point, they're traveling through this location. And even if you don't direct somebody, you're going to get a lot of splash damage. So this was great. This was a placed rocket based on prediction. Great stuff. Boom.
They're back in the point.
And then
Lucio's
once you
weak.
just see red people, you're like, no, I'll just shoot in their general direction.
I almost got him.
What the fuck were you shooting at? So, just like McCree, Pharah is no different from McCree just because it's hit scan or projectile, doesn't matter. Each shot needs to be placed with purpose onto a target, based on a prediction, something like that. Just aiming in the general direction of the red people is insufficient.
Alright, we have high ground. Watch out for ults.
That's weak.
Yeah, this is you. He's on his own.
Red people
gonna
bad,
rape?
come on, bruh.
Where is
Really?
he?
She's on me.
Ryan can die, Ryan can die.
Right.
Mercy, Ryan right. They're both weak.
Reaper slow, Reaper slow. Okay, heal.
So again, these are opportunities where, especially when the enemy is so split like this, you can use your jump jet as a means to escape. So you can go really low onto targets, put 2 directs on them, and then use the boost to escape. But since you're so far away from things, it's a lot harder to hit targets that are moving around, especially if they are being shielded by a Reinhardt, when you're that far away because of the just direct travel time. So don't be afraid. You're a main tank player, right? You're no stranger to being on the front line, okay? Save your jump jet, position yourself creatively so you can get on top, boom, boom, jump jet out. Just eliminate one person, go back up. While you're back up there, shell, 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 you've got your jump back up, boom, boom, back up. But you need to have this kind of mix of close range double taps, long range area of effect denial, and long range spam damage. But just playing, if you rely as Pharah on other people to finish your kills, climbing is going to be insanely hard. You can do shit tons of damage, you farm barrages all the time, but direct rocket hits cause that person to just hide or heal up. They don't kill. Like, those don't kill. You need to actually land the second rocket. The second rocket hit is the only one that actually matters. The first one doesn't. The second rocket hit on the same target that actually eliminates the target is the one that actually matters. None of the other rockets matter. The rocket that gets the elimination matters. And the way you're playing, you're going to get a fuck ton of first hits and never get a second. You need to be way more aggressive. You need to be managing your resources so you can be more aggressive and still escape alive. We've went over a lot of techs, but in general.
Oh, I don't want to die here.
I love Moon's emotes. The knockback from a rocket can
Group up,
assist
group up,
with
yeah,
the
group up.
knockback from
They
concussion
have a few ults
blast,
here.
but that's a really high level tech and
So
pretty
let's
niche.
focus on Alright, they're pushing up red a lot.
You're ready to get on
point.
soon.
Alright, go on the point. Watch that Reaper here, booping him away from you.
Tracer in
told
our
you, I'm
back
sorry.
line.
Cap it, cap it, cap it.
I have ult, but you'd have to res me. I died trying to touch.
Oh, fuck.
I'm on a point. Middle of the point.
This is kind of what I'm...
Nice barrage. That's a good
We'll
location.
take that back. Just win our map.
Up.
We can absolutely win
Drop
against this team.
silently. Perfect location. Stop your momentum with barrage. It's too bad it was overtime and you suck. Anyway, I mean, it didn't matter, right? Okay. Well, that's 11 a.m. So we did a lot of tangents on Pharah. So we're not